Here we are.
I didn't count down.
No countdown. We are live. This is Deep Dive. I'm Blake, your host. These are my other hosts. I've got Hagen. I've got
Hello.
Kyle.
Hello.
I've got Bobby.
Hey.
We have important things to discuss. We had a Don't Feed the Artists, High Fives and Deep Dives field trip.
Here's the thing, and I like we. It's not to say that like Dave and Adam and I don't hang out. Nice, yes. It's not to say that like we don't hang out outside of this, but the thing is that like we talk about doing like an outing and like going out and like doing like doing something fun, and we just never. Whenever we do hang out, we just never talk about it afterwards. Like this kind of context.
Right.
So, McLeod, hello. Bing bong, indeed.
Bing bong will work.
So one thing I just noticed before we get started, maybe the best cheap merch ever.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, I don't know if we're getting into this
No.
where we were planning to, is Wilco nailed this, and Blake bought us all one, and I forgot. Mine's on my fridge at home.
We talked about it on our main show last night, but these are still the coolest things ever. It's Wilco concert participant ribbons.
It's genius.
Yeah.
If you think of like cheap merch, it's always
$5.
It's stickers, pins, which who wears, like nobody wears pins anymore.
The amount of fucking bands that I've been in, they're like, we should do underwear. I'm like, who the fuck wants to buy moniker underwear? I'm not saying that Jackson ever suggested that. I'm just using it as an example. But
Jackson
I was
is a
hoping
bad
it was.
idea.
I was hoping it was Dave.
No one ever suggested that in that band. But like, I've heard that as like you could probably like do some cheap prints on some underwear. Like, who the fuck wants a band name on? Who cares?
Yeah, and that's like a small enough trinket there that like. Cool, I put it on my fridge. Like, it's not that I'm having to carry around a souvenir for the rest of my life.
Also, like, kids get like a lot of shit for like, oh, they just get participation trophies. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I feel great.
And it wasn't a sticker, and it wasn't a pin.
Yeah, you feel accomplished.
Yeah. So you were saying we took a field trip.
Yeah, we took a field trip. I forced everyone to go see Wilco with me. So
By forced, you mean bought the ticket?
I said I have tickets. You have to go. It was the first time I saw Wilco was life changing for me. It really, I mean, not even jokes aside, was like a huge moment musically for me.
How long had you been a fan before you saw them?
Pretty minimally.
Really?
It was sort of on the radar, just being a guitar player, and there's a ton of guitar players in that band.
What?
But yeah, no, it's crazy. we'll talk about guitars soon.
I'll see myself out.
But there's a very specific moment where I've been dabbling in crazier atonal, chaotic music, and go to see this band at the recommendation of another friend. He's like, "Hey, I have a couple of tickets. I think you'll be into it." They played via Chicago. And we'll get into that in a bit. But it was just like, oh, this is a whole thing for me.
Yeah.
So
could I ask is this friend the same age or
4 days older than
4
me.
days? Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob, I don't know if you're watching, but
Yeah, I'm guessing I know who this is. So yeah, we went to high school. Oh, we went to elementary school.
yeah, I've known him since third grade.
Yeah. So the field trip, we all go to see Wilco, and it's a good thing that you dragged all of us to see this, because I mean I think that between the three of us there is enough of a insanely different perspective on what the fuck we're watching, and like I think that it's I would dare say that like Kyle and I both like a lot of more like prepared work a lot of the time. It's not we don't like improv stuff, but like we're like it's a lot more like prepared like kind of music, and this is very wild, like out there stuff.
Loose.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of. I mean, the fusion-y side of things that I'm into, like the Cory Wong and Snarky Puppy and Wolfpack and stuff like that. That has its moments of being sporadic and improv and chaotic to some extent, but in a different way.
Very different, yeah.
So it was different. And coming from like a jazz background too, like improv's part of it, and that can be chaotic. But this was like prepared but also jam bandy at the same time.
Yeah,
in a different way.
When you talk about jazz, there's like a history of improv that is like studied, and when you talk about jam bands, I hate them, and and we talked about it on the Wilco episode where I asked the question: is Wilco a jam band or like is that something that like the fan base views them as? And I think what you said really brilliantly, which was Wilco is a jam band if jam bands were good.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is also it's got the jam band elements. It's got the country western elements.
Sure.
It's got the singer songwriter elements. It's got just straight up rock and roll stuff going on.
It's super diverse.
And then it's got some just jazzy parts. It's like, wow, this is a lot happening in the same band that these guys are good at it.
Yeah. And then you know, I Bobby, you listen to a lot of different stuff, but you listen to largely a lot of heavier music
for sure.
And so this is definitely like a very
I mean, you know, obviously like I love like alt rock and things like that, but it was cool to see just how out there and just how weird they could get in the context of, you know, singer songwriter, country, alt rock, you know, the very just kind of softer instrumentation, if you would. But I mean, it was super, super cool. And I thought we were walking out, and I think Hagen, you said like nobody plays by the rules. There's nobody plays by the rules.
Kyle said that.
Kyle said that.
There's no rules.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
And it was just so cool to see that, because seeing bands all the time, it's rad to see them have their rehearsed performed set, you know, and obviously in like a hardcore or like metal kind of sense, that's kind of what you get. But it's really rad to see it just explode on stage, you know.
You go to a metal show nowadays, and every member of the band is walking around the venue before the show with their in-ears like wrapped around, like they have their wireless pack, because everything they're doing is like so fucking rehearsed and to the fucking point. Where like as this is, it's not that it's not rehearsed, it's not that it's not like to the point, but it's like these are I guess for lack of a better term, like real musicians doing the fucking thing, right?
Well, I think it's artist. It's artist making art in the moment, and not making art in the process of making the performance.
Right.
Yeah, they're not presenting
Yeah.
a completed piece of art. The art is happening.
Right.
For sure.
So I think, and you guys can say it, you went so you could say, I want to know why Blake won't shut the fuck up. This is bad.
I mean, I've been passively listening to Wilco for years. Like since you got into him, like we work together. You have it on at work. I hear it every day almost.
Yeah.
And it's like cool. Like it's in my head. Like surprisingly, I was like, oh shit, I know this song. I know this song. I know this song too. I don't know what they're called. I don't know anything about them, but I know them. Like, and that was like the cool thing is like, okay, I get what I've been listening to passively for 3 or 4 years now, if not longer. Yeah. It like I see it. I'm seeing it, and it was very cool.
Yeah, I think that I understood why you like them in our episode about Wilco. Sure. I think I understood it like pretty immediately, and especially with a different perspective. And also, there's been a lot of friends that I've had that have been really big Wilco fans, and they've kind of like they've showed me a little bit of that too already. But I think that kind of like the more amazing thing for me is seeing a band like that like actually in front of you. Like I understood it, but then watching it is like, oh, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And that changes so much of the perspective of like, you know, I've played California Stars. Like sure. I've been hit up by like any cover band that I've been in. It's like, or there's like a couple actually where they're like, hey, let's play California Stars. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I learn it and I play it, and not to be mean, but holy fuck, is that boring to play? Oh my God, that's so. But when I watched them do it, I was like, oh, this is delightful. This is wonderful. And that was like, you know, like one of their songs I didn't necessarily do wild shit during, but it was like, this is so nice to just sit and listen to. And and that's not even on the far side of the crazy shit they did.
Right. Yeah. I think the interesting part from my perspective is like knowing Blake since we've been 5. Like it's been 33 years of knowing each other, which is bonkers. I go, okay, cool. Blake likes country because his grandpa got him into country. We had a old man that we worked with that also was a lot of his country influence. Cool. Blake's always liked alt rock. Like he being born in 86, you have to like you grew up in the time of alt rock. the influences that I saw in your entire life, it's like they just smashed them into one band.
Yeah.
And just like,
Yep.
like here it is. Here's everything on Blake's
It's
playlist.
folded up and presented to me
Yeah.
in 2019.
I'm
Here it
pretty
is.
certain in the first song I leaned over to Hagen and go, I see why Blake likes him.
Yeah,
I see it.
exactly. Yeah. So, can I just real quick, can we do the bit? Can we do the?
I'll see how I do.
Okay. So the bit is that this is the set list.
Yeah.
You wrote this that evening when you got home, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was eating a very late dinner.
Yeah.
Writing down
The songs of and then you double checked it, and this is 100% the set list.
That is the set list we saw.
So wrote it down from memory before looking at it online.
Yeah.
Yes.
They didn't post it till the next day.
When that's another important thing to mention. The Wilco set list is that it's not the same every night at all.
No,
right?
changes pretty consistently.
And how many songs are there for them to pick between? If there's a ballpark, how many songs?
I think I've heard Pat Sansone say when he compiled everything for the last tour I saw them on, they had performed between original material and covers around 300 songs.
Jesus.
Okay, so a certified Wilco fan has 300 songs that you know of that they could play roughly, and then we watched it. They made a set list of some of those songs. They played for 2 hours, so
25 songs.
25 songs. Okay, so now we're gonna put Blake to the test and see.
So one of my questions, you said they didn't post it until the next day.
Yeah, they posted.
Be honest with me. Did you post it the next day?
No.
Okay.
Are you the post on setlist.fm?
Are you the guy?
I am not.
Okay. All right, Blake. So what did they open with?
They opened with Wishful Thinking.
Okay. Second.
Second would have been. I know third was Handshake Drugs. Fifth.
Okay. Number one. Timeout. Handshake Drugs. The guitar tech brought Nels a new guitar.
He brought John
All right,
Sturrett, a Hofner Club bass.
He brought the bass player a new bass, and Blake said they're playing. He leaned over me and said, "Playing handshake drugs."
And I hear that from afar, and I hear Handshake Drugs. I'm like, are they gonna play Handshake Drugs? And they started, and I was like, holy fuck!
Like he knew what song it was going to be from what bass was coming out. That's insane to me, Blake.
I do that. I do that because I'm an idiot with Dave Grohl. I'm like, he switched guitars. This is the drop D guitar, so it's Monkey Wrench or Everlong.
That shit. Foo Fighters color code that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a blue guitar or gold guitar.
Yeah.
Like-
So whenever that happens, like that has happened with my wife. We've been at a Foo Fighters show. I'm like, it's gonna be Monkey Wrench or Everlong, but if it's early in the show, it's Monkey Wrench.
Yeah.
And she's like, how do you know? I'm like, they switched guitars. But this is like
gold guitar.
This is like the next level.
Every song.
Every song was a
single
fucking guitar
song.
switch.
So do you want to get the second one, or do you want me to go ahead and?
The second one is Evicted.
Yeah. Okay.
Holy fuck!
And then handshake drugs, and then
What did they play before War on War?
Goddamn War on War is number 5. Holy shit, dude.
There are chunks where
Blake's Rain Manning the Wilco concert right now.
And for anyone who's
ever I was
listening,
a child,
If ever I was a child is correct.
if for anyone who's
Jesus
listening,
Christ.
you're more than welcome to. If you're not driving, pull up the set list and,
Yeah,
and
double-
read
double
along.
check me.
Yeah, and then War on War was number 5.
Let's see how many more you could potentially.
Let's
get.
see if we can get to 10.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
make
yeah,
you do all
exactly,
25 because
yeah,
that's crazy.
So War on War, that's early for Quiet Amplifier because I think that's number 7.
Quad Amplifier is number 7.
Oh my god.
So there's one in between. You're getting every other one really solid. And
Yeah.
I'm filling in the blank.
If you get to 10, then I have an easy question for you after you get
Okay.
to 10. Okay.
So what would have been before Quiet Amplifier? Maybe Cruel Country.
World Country is correct. And Quad Amplifier. And
This
then,
is insane, and this is the thing. While you're thinking, well, go ahead. You have another one.
Keep going because I got to think.
While you're thinking
Oh.
about it, I have seen. So I mentioned this briefly. I have seen Foo Fighters about I think 7 times. I've seen my favorite band, Between the Buried and Me, I think like 12 or 13 times, not counting like two. Like I've seen them like 2 nights in a row, but that was like the same tour, so that was like I'm not gonna count that as 2. I could not fucking tell you their set list outside of the ones where they're like, "This is the Colors tour. We're playing Colors." Like, yeah, okay, I know what that set list is. But then I'm like, oh, what was the fucking encore for that?
I'm not gonna pull this one.
What do you think? Like aside from, so you're at 8 or 7?
I think I have 7.
Okay.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
So what, regardless of like what 8 would be, what's like the next one you remember they played? Just like not necessarily 8, but like something next.
So we would have gotten Meant to Be's later in the set list. Impossible Germany is later in the set list. Cold Slope is later. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a blank.
Okay,
being
so
put on the spot.
You Are My Face.
Okay,
Was number 8.
And what's 9 and 10?
9 should be Either Way.
That was Whole Love.
Whole Love.
And then number 10. I'll give you a hint. You have number 10 starred. I don't know why, but you do.
Well, because it was something I wanted to talk about in that song.
Perfect. So now before we go to
Is that via Chicago?
No, that was a Bird Without a Skull.
Okay.
Before we go to
Bird
that,
Without a Tail base on my skull. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Don't
Yeah,
read
sure,
my-
sure.
get the first 7 out of 25.
7 out of 25. That's ridiculous.
before you look again, I have one more, which is what were the encores?
California Stars, Falling Apart, I Got You Into the Century.
Let's fucking go. I mean, that's my one.
There it is.
That's incredible. Yeah,
And I could have told you prior to that it was Heavy Metal Drummer and I'm the Man Who Loves You.
okay. So now where do you want to take it from here? What's the
So I wanted to start in what's some favorite moments for you guys?
Number 1, I think we need to get this out of the way before we go too crazy. Waxahachie was great too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true.
Opener. We didn't really talk about the openers at all. Waxahachie opened. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
Tweety's Kid.
Yeah, Spencer.
on
Spencer
drums.
plays drums.
And they were great.
Yeah.
They were in the country side of things. In like the
Yeah.
like, I get why they brought them on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they would have been a great opener regardless of Jeff's son playing in the
Oh,
band.
for sure.
100%.
So-
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've been a Waxahachie fan for a few years now, and she's incredible. And I've been checking up to see like who was on what like record, if anybody was like who like she played with anybody for a long time. It seems like her bass player is her only long-term one, but like a long-term member. But truly incredible acts. She's got a great voice and. We'll talk about it more with Wilco, but like that the whole night. I mean, we're very. I think that most live music going people are very accustomed to like people having in-ears. There's potentially tracks. There's all sorts of things. I don't think Waxahachie was running. They had ears.
They had ears, but I don't feel like they were tracks.
No. They
sure.
definitely no click.
No click.
And like she started a lot of songs just on her own, just saying that first pitch. And I was like, all right, that's she nailed it.
I'll say that I think they were better live than even the record on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
They sounded so good.
And her guitar player nailed MJ Lenderman's voice.
Yeah.
Like there's a tune on the new record that's because MJ Lenderman plays guitar in a lot of it. But then he sang on one of the songs, and I was like, that's not MJ Lenderman, but boy does he sound exactly like MJ Lenderman. That's crazy.
And just for the record, they opened with 3 sisters. Waxahachie did.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the song that sounds like the Macy Gray song.
This is a little bit of nerd gear stuff, but we looked at it, so we have to say it. That's the first ever left-handed pedal steel I've ever seen.
That's wild.
Super sick.
It clicked in my brain. You guys saw me go. Wait a second.
Yeah, like switching your hands around. Like, how does this work? I think I've done that like a couple times at drummers. I look and I'm like, how are you? What do you? Oh.
But that might be one of less than a dozen left-handed pedal steels on the planet.
I've probably seen 100 pedal steel players in my life, and that's the only left-handed
that's wild.
one I've seen. So
That's insane.
Rare musician and rare instrument on top of it.
good at it, which is nice.
Yeah, he was
too.
great.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
So
Okay, go ahead.
props to Waxahachie. So did you guys have any like standout favorite moments that you wanted to talk about? I could sit here and gush for hours. So.
I mean, I've talked about it a lot. Via Chicago was a big one.
It was dope.
I really think, and we listened to it on the Wilco episode, but it's this moment because you said it's about the L train, right? And
yeah, so lyrically, the story is a guy kills his girlfriend, and he's running.
The first lyric.
Yeah, dreamed about killing you again last night, and it felt all right to me. So he's running from the cops, and he's running through Chicago, sort of, because there's mentions of some streets in San Francisco, but it's a dream, so we'll let it all slide.
Yeah.
There's also some nonsense lyrics, but that's Wilco.
That's Wilco, yeah.
So, but there are moments where as he's running, he would be running under the L train in Chicago. So musically, he told the band, I want to sound like I'm under an antiquated train track.
yeah,
With a train going overhead. And the band said, got it.
yeah.
I think the wild part to me about that is how it doesn't phase him at all. He just keeps the
It's
going.
It's the fact that he keeps going and the bass player is still singing harmony too.
Yeah.
And the fact the bass player is like locked the fuck in. Like if Jeff Tweedy were to it was just solo, that would be incredibly impressive. But the fact that a bass player is like right next to him singing that harmony, and there isn't like they have a monitor mix, sure, but like there isn't like a specific in-ear system where they're gonna hear everything like monitors are wild. Like,
I mean, there might be a really good monitor engineer that's like, when it gets to the train part,
just
take
turn
everything out.
but still behind him, all
still
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
true.
So
Yeah.
that's the other thing too, and so like a big standout for me as a drummer is just Glenn Kochi, just watching him play.
Incredible.
And especially like I've seen a lot of jazz drummers and traditional grip is something that is not my thing, but a lot of jazz drummers obviously use traditional. For those who don't know, that's where like the left hand looks all goofy and the right hand looks normal. So he makes it look like it's nothing. He's like his left hand moves like butter. Like as he goes up to hit his left side crash, it looks like there's no issues at all.
Right.
And so during that section in Via Chicago, when you have like the craziness happening behind you, like it looks like Animal. Like it looks it looks like a man's just flailing out of like nowhere, hitting everything in front of him, and those other two guys up front are just like, no, it's fine. Yeah, we're right
And
here.
traditional grip, like you see it jazz a lot, but jazz guys use little bitty kits.
Yeah.
This dude's doing traditional grip on a giant kit that he's
Yeah.
got to reach for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's truly wild to watch him play, but especially in that context, like, oh my god, I can't, like, I just can't.
Just in general, everything about his playing, like with the there are no rules thing. Again, there's multiple songs where he had two mallets in each hand, and there were multiple songs with just chaotic technique that I don't think I've ever seen outside of some very specific like orchestral stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do stuff like that.
I have another standout thing, which is not a song, but it's just a thing that was a standout, which is I already said that they weren't running ears, but I think that it was huge for me to realize that they literally all just had, except for Jeff Tweedy, they all just had a monitor.
Yep.
One. Well, sorry. What's the guitar player or keyboard player who does? He does more than one thing.
There's Pat Sansone.
Yeah. So he had a monitor that was like in front of him if he was playing guitar, and then he had a monitor on the back side of his keyboard setup. So he had technically two, but it's really only one for whatever he's doing for that song.
Yeah.
And that was like it's unfortunate, maybe, I don't know, but for me that's such a big standout to watch that like these guys are actually it's stage sound.
Yeah.
It's legit like a monitor stage sound setup, and they're playing more together than they ever could, I think, because of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about some standouts? What do you guys think?
It was very cool to hear Impossible Germany in person.
Mm-hmm.
I out of the passive Wilco that I've listened to, that's always stuck out to me as being one of my favorite songs that they've done. Just kind of him getting out of the solo, and then because I know the story. I watched the original Wilco episode. Him getting out of the solo of them going into that guitar harmony part with just like a look and a nod, and it's done.
Yeah.
It's there. It's so impressive
Yeah.
on that side of things of just like they can read each other's minds, and I'm sure at this point with the lineup that they can.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just cool to see that.
21 years they've been that lineup. So.
Yeah, that's
It's
wild.
fucking insane.
I've said that's wild like 500 times.
Yep.
this
Because it
episode.
is.
It is
It's all
wild.
wild.
Yeah, because it is.
Impossible Germany is an interesting one. I wrote down on here. I've seen Wilco 4 times, and Impossible Germany they've played every time. I've gotten 4 very different Nels solos.
Yeah.
This one was the most restrained, I thought.
Uh-huh.
I've kind of gone back and looked at some videos, and there are some moments where he's a little more fleet fingered,
Yeah.
but he was definitely going for something a little more long notes, sustained kind of thing.
Yeah.
The phrasing was incredible. I mean, that's like that's the whole thing. I think that for me that like makes the best solo ever. I don't give a shit how fast you can play.
Yeah.
Can like is what's the phrasing? What's the like what are you trying to convey to me right now?
Right.
If you play fast in that process and it sounds great, then cool. That's awesome. But real quick, could you like give like what is Nels Klein's like background?
Okay, so it's vast.
Okay.
First of all, he came up in the 70s playing a lot of kind of straightforward jazz with his twin brother, Alex.
Okay.
So from that scene in LA, he gets into the Byrds and some more of the psychedelic things. Starts playing with guys like Henry Kaiser, Leo Wadada Smith, a lot of like free jazz kind of things.
Sure.
Then in the mid 80s, hooks up with Mike Watt from the Minutemen
Okay.
and plays on a couple of albums from Mike Watt. He spent some time in the Blue Man Group. Recently, just
What?
so
Wait, I just imagine him painted blue, just hitting drums. But I know they have a band.
Yeah,
but
so-
I picture him as a blue man.
I picture the band as in the back, not blue, and he's like, "Oh, I want to be blue."
I'm into that. So he played with a band called the Geraldine Fibbers.
Excuse me.
The Geraldine Fibbers.
Okay, yeah.
With a woman named Carla Buzelich. They
Bless you.
Blake's making up words.
We got the names going. Let's
got
go.
it, I got it. So
Bubalik.
Buzelich.
Buzelich.
So they opened for Wilco for a few dates, which is where Jeff kind of goes, "Oh, that guy.
I want that guy.
I gotta keep that guy around."
Yeah, because he still does like jazz stuff.
Yeah. He's got just released a great album,
Right.
with the Concentric Quartet.
Yeah.
That's great. He's got the Nels Klein singers, all of this sort of free jazz, just bonkers,
Okay, gotcha.
bonkers stuff.
Yeah, because the I mean like the interesting thing for the like Impossible Germany of it all is that so we also were at the show with Jackson, who was in the YouTube chat for a second. Right, I ignored him very purposefully.
Sure.
And and he's like a Wilco fan, period. But he loves Impossible Germany. That guy fucking hates guitars.
Yeah.
Like hates guitar, hates gear, hates solos. Loves Impossible Germany, which is a testament to a man like Nels Klein, which is like how can you make a person that hates fucking guitar solos like a guitar solo?
Nels Klein, in Wilco in particular, but in everything, never plays a note that doesn't mean something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like it's intention
Yeah.
at all times, even when it's a spring behind the bridge and a pile of old pedals that he's manipulating, and
Yeah.
so it's Wilco's a band that you can go watch live videos and just fixate on every single member because there's always something going on.
Yeah. Notice it. Like, I'll go back to what I said right after. It's like there were no rules. Everybody did something unique for their instrument.
Absolutely.
The bass player kind of stayed fairly tame for the most part. Somebody had to hold shit down.
But he also seems like he's supposed to be Jeff Tweedy's like right hand man.
Yeah. I mean, it's the glue.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, he's always singing harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Standout?
I do have a standout.
yeah.
I went into the show knowing Impossible Germany and Heavy Metal Drummer and Random Name Generator that they didn't play, but that's okay. I was floored.
Dog's pissed.
Blake will make a call. Like, hey, Jeff,
Get him on the phone.
what happened?
I was
only.
very pleasantly surprised with Quiet Amplifier.
Yeah, it's a
That
great
song was great. It started with just like a really cool like eighth note like bass drum just every beat.
Yeah.
And it felt almost like post rock, almost like it just very kind of sparse instrumentation, kind of sporadic noises, and then it just built and built and built, and it did not stop building. And it was just such a cool, like, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. They just, you know, you were saying like, oh, they don't really play it that often because there's so much stuff going on. I'm like, it's so cool. There's so much going on.
Jeff has pretty much said, like, you know, there's too much guitar stuff that even between the three of us.
Yes.
But he also said, you know what? I'm going to find this early 70s Gibson guitar they made that is an acoustic guitar with 2 humbuckers in it.
Sick.
Okay, wait. So now, can I take you to the guitar part of the whole thing? We talked about it a little bit, but so basically every song there was a guitar change.
Sure.
I'm not gonna ask this as a question as I know the answer or if anyone knows the answer. But do you know roughly, if you had to guess, how many guitars period there are with them, or at least that we saw that night?
On the road with them, I know Nels takes 20.
Holy fuck my ass!
But he only used 4, 5, right? Because he had the 2 Jazzmasters.
Yeah, 2 Jazzmasters,
He had
a Jaguar.
Oh, he had a Jag. I didn't see the Jag.
He did play the Jaguar
there was
on
one they
Hummingbird.
just put up at the back of his amp that he never touched.
Yeah, that's an Italian. It's called a Hop Telstar.
And then he had the 12-string.
Yeah, he's got his Jerry Jones 12-string.
Okay, it's a Jerry Jones.
He had a lap steel.
Yeah.
Like the Cowboys.
No.
All right. It's this Silvertone copy thing, right?
Yeah, Jerry Jones builds Dan Electro built Dan Electro.
copies. I've never seen a 12-string guitar played like that. A 12-string electric. It was insane.
Yeah.
Bending and playing like leads.
Yeah.
Like that it was just wild.
I don't think even if you have heard Nels Cline play on a recording, you've seen guitar played like that. That man has alien fingers.
It is
and they're
bizarre.
also like pretzels. He would play chord shapes, and I'm like, I feel like there's a better way to do that. I'm not a guitar. What am I looking at right here?
there was a couple moments that I was looking at it. I'm like, is he? I mean, I know they're all, you know, up there in age, but I was like, is he shaking? I'm like, is he like, you know, I was like, is he nervous? I was like, no. And then, you know, the madness dies down. You hear him, and it's like, oh no, he's playing exactly what he wanted to play.
Yeah.
It just looked gnarly. It just looked really crazy.
It looks like his pinky is wrapped around his ring finger to like play a chord. Like, what are we doing?
It sounded phenomenal, of course, but it just looking at it, and I had a big tall guy in front of me, so I was looking at Nels a lot. It was just like, dude, like, are you all right? And his hands, it was awesome. It was just really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you'll, like, every show I've been to, I have bought tickets on stage right, because that's where Nels is going to be.
Yeah.
So if Hagen doesn't want to talk about guitar, let's talk about the synthesizer player that looks like he wants to kill you.
Oh, dude.
Michael Jorgensen.
Wait, okay,
Yeah.
fucking
Oh my God.
Jorgensen. Okay, so this guy, I great player. That like he wore like an all white jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And this reference won't work. So he reminds me of like I forget the name of the teacher in Fairly Odd Parents. That was like
Mr. Crocker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like fairies. Like
Yeah.
like that's the kind of vibe. Or you don't want to hang out with him like alone. Like I would never want to be alone in a room with that guy.
My general thought, all 4 times I've seen them, is he looks like he's mad that you took him out of his AP math class. that he was teaching.
110%. But then you mentioned on the way out he plays for
He plays in Tim Heidecker's Good
what
Time
the
Band.
fuck?
Yeah, he definitely didn't look like he wanted to be there.
Oh yeah. No.
Like he didn't. It looked like he was enjoying himself.
No, but to be fair, I don't really know who looked happy to be there. Like they were enjoying themselves, but I don't know if anyone smiled much on stage.
No.
You probably could have counted the smiles on one hand if you really tried. You know, like it wasn't. But that's not like a dig at like the performance. Like I teach students to like smile on stage, have fun. Yeah. If I'm playing with somebody that looks like they're having a bad time, I'm like, hey. Everyone who's watching you is going to have a bad time now because you look like you're having a bad time. Yeah. But when in this context, everyone understands the assignment.
Sure,
for sure.
You're not there on accident.
Yeah, right. I think that's a really great like way to go into the clientele of Wilco. Sure. And so like what's the like average age that was at that show, do you think?
I mean, I would say 50.
I mean, Bobby was the youngest person there. No, I'm just kidding.
I was worried about that.
There's some kids there.
Jackson made a good point that it was a really good. I think Jackson did. Maybe it was when you guys. But I think Jackson said it was really good daddy-daughter night because the like the daughter probably is a Waxahachie fan because they're like a hot pitchfork item as well.
Right. Dad's listening to Wilco, so they're already in the world a little bit.
Yeah.
So much so that Jeff said something about it.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Yeah, so I think that's another big thing is that like the median age is about like 50, but like the funniest part about that is that Jeff knows.
Yeah.
Is that
He
he points out into the crowd. He's like one of the funniest front people I've ever seen. But he points out into the crowd to somebody who's like right in front. It's like, is your dad embarrassing you? and they say something, and he's like, dads go crazy for Wilco.
You're being very tolerant.
that like one of the trips that I made to the concession stand or whatever, I heard people talking, and I just heard, I'm the CFO of what. Like, yeah, of course you're a CFO.
Yep.
I'm sure you have, a boat and, and these are your one pair of cargo pants that you wear on the weekends. Like, I mean, this is it.
Yeah. Well, it must have been one of you that said that like so many offices were going to have people out the next day.
Yeah.
Just like people call like so, and it's funny because like my friends that I ran into at the show were guys that are right around 50. like I think one of them is exactly 50. The other one is like 2 years off from 50. So it's like I thought they would be there, and then when I saw them, I was like, oh, fucking of course.
Yeah, I said it then. I'm gonna stand by it. I think they're the best live band in the game.
See, I think that is it's a fair statement, but I do think that I'm gonna need you just for the sake of argument to quantify that a little bit more for me. What is your explanation for why they are because I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you, but I need to know what exactly.
Okay, so you're going to a concert. And you go, what do I want out of a concert? Mm-hmm. You're going to see a rock band. I want to see great rock guitars. Wilco's got you. I'm a drummer. I want to see crazy drumming.
Bobby wanted to punch people in the pit. And nobody was punching anybody in the pit.
The last song, sorry. The last song in the set, that's a puncher.
I am the man who loves you.
That's a puncher.
Yeah.
You
could throw down in that.
That's you know what? We weren't going to listen to anything. I'm going to pull up the beginning of that song because just the beginning of that song, you should want to hit stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, they cover so much ground.
Yeah.
Like Kyle was saying, you get great rock songs and country songs and singer-songwriter songs and.
I was walking out. I was like, I know a few Wilco songs. I was like, I didn't realize they had that many like softer stuff, like stuff you can sing along to, stuff. Again, singer songwriter. Like it was really impressive to just see that range, and then towards the end, heavy metal drummer. Like it's super super cool.
Hold on, wait. Let me make sure I have my settings right, and then we're gonna listen to just at least the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of this, for me, is like, you want to hit stuff. For sure. There's no shot. See what I'm saying? What a fucking guitar intro.
Yeah. That's from Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, which the label said, we can't release this.
If you don't want to hit people from just like the kind of like just the randomness of that guitar part, you want to hit people because you're like, stop fucking playing that. Get to the song.
It's one of those that you would have to like notate the rhythm and then
yeah,
it's like musician's hell. Like notate that intro for me, please.
Yeah.
That's another one that as soon as they brought out that Rickenbacker, I was just like, oh, they're gonna play I'm the Man Who Loves You.
That's so good. Incredible. Wow. Okay, so you want a good guitar player, you want a good drummer, you want a good
I mean, I'm a keyboard guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we got two of them hanging out back there.
Okay.
I like synthesizers, and Jorgensen's just
he'll kill you.
Bleeping and blooping. And
if you don't like the synthesizers, you're done for.
Yeah. But I've seen them 4 times. There are songs on here that I hadn't seen before. There are songs I've seen every time.
Right.
They're never exactly the same.
Sure.
So for me, Like if I want to hear things note for note, I'll put the album on.
Right.
So for me, that's what
No,
I'm looking for. It's perfect.
I think that the statement that they are the best live band in the game is a fair is a fair statement. I think that there could be some potential like counters to of saying like well this band's actually whatever that ends up being preference. But I think that ultimately when you watch a band like Wilco play, you're like, oh wait a minute, this is like an actual fucking band.
Yeah.
Like and like you said earlier, Kyle, of like the Impossible Germany solo, they just like did a little nod.
Yeah,
and
it was just like, it's over. Here it is. This
guitar
is,
harmonies done. Yeah.
So I will say the one thing. I don't know how to put this into words the right way. I will say that musically, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Musically, it was out there. As far as a show, there wasn't a whole lot of showmanship.
That's fair.
If that makes any sense. Like there was no spectacle. It's not quite the right word. I mean, I say that I went to Green Day and they had a big fucking inflatable hand grenade and pyros and stuff like that. I mean, that was a cool show for other reasons. Musically, I would say that it's one of the best bands in the game.
Yeah,
like it wasn't much of a show.
I think that's a pretty fair point. I will say, as I mentioned, like my favorite band, Between the Buried and Me, I've seen them a bunch of times. Those guys stand there and they play the like heavy ass riffs and prog music. And now as they're they're getting into like about to be 40 or in their 40s, they're starting to move around on stage a little more as they've been doing this for so many years. They've been a band for over 20 years, but like the first time I saw them, they just stood there staring at their instruments. And at no point was I like bummed out, but I think that there is a little bit of like understanding what you're going into in that scenario. And with this, I think that there's like, I think that if the median age is 50 and that crowd is like coming in there and they're like, they're moving around a lot. Like,
yeah, I would say that it's like this gave the vibes of like the world's biggest listening party. Like everybody was there to listen to the music.
Yeah.
And that's what it was there for.
Which I think that's probably one of the best things you'd ever ask for in that scenario.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So everybody, you knew the assignment.
Yeah, exactly. So. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, Blake.
What you got?
What's your standout?
The whole thing. Having you guys
Cop out.
having you guys come with me and experience it all. I jotted.
That's so cute. Oh shit.
Perfect.
So so you've seen them 4 times. You have a tally next to how many times you've seen the song.
Yeah.
Was there a specific song that was like, fuck yeah, I wanted to see that one?
I've only seen Quiet Amplifier one. No, I didn't even see it on the Ode to Joy tour. They didn't play it.
Okay.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
This is my second time to see Bird Without a Tail, Bass on My Skull, which has the 12-string shredding and
that was wild.
Dual guitar stuff.
Fucking song name.
What was the song that like they count the amount of times Tweety says like has
that's
those hits?
in Misunderstood, and we did.
So
not,
we didn't get that
because
I was
get Misunderstood.
I was like, yeah, man, that's gonna be funny to hear
Yeah.
him do those weird hits over and over again.
Yeah, that's usually pretty early.
Okay,
that would have been in probably the number 3 slot.
Dang.
So
I guess we got to go back.
Yep. every time. So I said Quiet Amplifier was great because it's something they don't play much. Hummingbird has a great guitar solo at the end of it. That on the album is a string arrangement, and they're working out the arrangement. And Nels is just like, I think I could do that. So he just makes this
because his fingers.
Because
his fingers are aliens and they can just do whatever.
Yeah.
So Blake, from a Wilco fan standpoint, he mentioned something about he was like, "Hey, that was all of our new ones. Now we're back to the old ones." And like the crowd was like, "Yeah." Were you excited or bummed that he was done with the new ones, or were you?
The new stuff was great. We got a fair bit of new stuff. Evicted in the second song is a cool little slinky guitar thing that happens.
Because it seemed like Jeff was kind of bummed that they didn't get a good reaction from the new stuff. Like
Jeff's an interesting one because he's gonna make an offhanded kind of is it a joke? Is it not a joke?
Right.
He's just naturally a kind of a
Well, that was
deadpan funny.
That was like the thing he said that like got the most reaction, I guess, or one. I think it was probably the most, where he was like, "Last time we were here, Tom Petty died," and then the crowd was kind of, there was like a little bit of a lull. So I think some people cheered. I'm not sure. And then he's like, "I don't know why I said that."
Yeah, he did things like. Is there a sporting event happening?
Yeah, he sees people drinking fucking light beer like we are now, and he's like, is there a sporting event nearby? I just assumed because you're all drinking Miller Lights.
The crowd goes, "Stars!" And he's like, "Oh, is that here?" And somebody goes, "Winnipeg," and he goes, "All right."
What was the go-to? The thing that one drunk lady said at the beginning? Oh, it was Wilco Wednesday.
Wilco Wednesday.
Wilco Wednesday. Yeah, that was so good.
What the fuck, lady?
I also liked people talk about the Beatles. They changed so much in 6 years.
Yeah.
They're like, how is Wilco staying the same fucking band for 30 years?
And one of the guys is like, the capo moved up 2 frets.
Yeah, right.
And then right after that, he's like, "Is my mic on? Is
this ever on?
Is my mic ever on?" And then calls out the fucking sound guy immediately.
Yeah.
Seriously, some of the funniest like crowd work, just and not even intentionally, just the way
you
just
can tell
deadpan.
it's not going to be the same tomorrow night
if
or the
you-
night before.
If you put like a fucking like Gen Z social media like expert in front of them, they'd be killing it on TikTok right now with those
Yeah.
clips. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit is, they would have edited that down to a fucking science of how funny that is. But like it doesn't, it's to live in that moment is like, that's even more of like the live, like good live band thing of like, they're just funny. They're as maybe as silly as it sounds, they're just who they are. Like
You're unashamedly Wilco. Via Chicago, every time I've seen it, it's the same feeling for me. Yeah. Like it's just kind of overwhelming. And
I'll be real with you. I didn't understand. Like I got it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an idiot, but like you don't get that song from the recordings. Like
no,
you do live.
no, it is not the same.
Like live, you go, I get this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And then in the recordings, it's like, yeah, I guess that's a train. I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, when you're there, it's like, what the fuck am I witnessing right now?
Yeah. And then when it breaks and goes back to normal, you can feel the whole crowd just like, we made it.
Yeah, we got through it.
Throughout like the whole night, there were moments of like we laughed at stuff. You know, there were moments of just like, what the fuck is going on? You know, there were moments of like, you know, just kind of just jamming out, you know, listening to it and just kind of swaying with it. You know, there was just an entire mixture of like reactions throughout the entire set. There was like, you know, again, if I'm going to see a metal band, you know, I'm there for aggression and energy, and that's it. The whole 15 minutes or whatever it is, right?
There's no release in a metal band. It's tension and Wilco mastered the tension and release.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a pretty interesting thing. Is like I've been to two pretty big shows in the last month, and it was Spirit Box and this. Spirit Box being a metal show, and Spirit Box did have this perspective that I thought was really wild, which is why I would dare say that like these were 2 amazing shows back to back, and not because like it's a metal band, they did the metal thing, but because I watched a group of like a crowd of people that was not just your generic metalheads. It was like teenage girls that were holding each other and singing the words to and screaming with the vocalist. It was a community of people who were really involved in the art itself, and not just like I'm here to see like I've complained about it a lot on the main show, but like when you go to a festival, the crowd is full of people who want to hear that artist's one big fucking song, and they dip the fuck out. Yep. And you see that at real shows too.
Watch the Coachella.
Yeah. I mean, and that to me is like something that you would never see at a Wilco show. There's never going to be, there might be one person in that crowd, but it's so rare that you'd have that one person that's like, I'm here to hear that one song. Like, you're in the wrong fucking place. You're probably not gonna hear that. There's a really good chance you're not gonna hear it.
I think that I told Blake this story, the craziest version of that I've ever seen in my entire life. I got tickets, House of Blues, for Say Anything's 20th anniversary of the Real Boy album. Great album, great band. They killed it. This guy sat next to me, a little older than me, probably like in his early 40s. And he had homemade shirt that he made himself, like with an iron-on sticker. And he was like, yeah, man, I love Alive with the Glory of Love. I love that song. I was like, dude, that's awesome, man. I've been listening to Say Anything since I was in college. This is, I love this. I love this album. He's like, dude, that's great. I love this song. And then his family comes and joins him. Mm-hmm. They have the same shirt. He made one for his wife and like 2 or 3 kids. They're all in these matching shirts. Alive with the Glory comes on. He belts it. And then they fucking disappear. And I never see them again.
Was he sit next to you and was like, bro, did you know this about the Holocaust? Like,
but dude, it was the wildest. He was just like, I love that song, which that's the second song on the album.
Yeah,
second or third,
and that song I know it was a single, right?
Yeah,
but it also was on a lot of TV and movies. Like I first heard that song because it was on Scrubs,
right?
And it was on like the season finale of season 6. Thank you, Scrubs nerddom. But like I knew that I knew that song because of that reason. So I would have gone to Say Anything show and been like, I love that song, but I like printing out that's fucking crazy.
Dude, they all had matching shirts, and yeah, they made it through, I guess, 2 or 3 songs and disappeared.
That's insane.
And he told me, he was like, I'll be back, man. I want to go get a drink. And then never came back. And
I love that.
I love that insane. He just lied to you. For
no
reason.
Yeah. And it was one of those things like we talked before, like in between the opener and Say Anything, we talked for like 10 minutes and got to know each other. I was like, dude, this is a nice guy. He's a pretty cool guy. Then they were done. I really wonder if it was his wife and kids were just like, we don't want to be here.
Yep.
Anyway, I know this is not Wilco oriented, but that was
no. But that's like you'd be hard pressed to come across somebody at a Wilco show that's doing that. Like the 3 of us are not Wilco fans, but we're not there to wait for that one song and leave.
Yeah. Somebody's like, hey guys, I watched The Bear. And I love that one song.
That first season.
Season of The Bear.
Well,
and that's what I'm here for.
You have tallied on there how many times you've seen those songs.
Yeah.
You've seen Wilco 4 times.
Yep.
Are any of them 4?
The 4 are Handshake Drugs.
Okay.
On my list here. Hummingbird.
Okay.
Impossible Germany. And California Stars.
Yeah. So there's I guess if you really want to hear those songs, you have a pretty good chance of hearing them, it looks like. But like that's it. Everything else you there's no shot.
You never know.
Not even the Heavy Metal Drummer song, not even that one.
So I've only seen it 3 of the 4.
Okay, well, decent chance, but still unlikely.
There are things they don't have to play.
Right.
But at this point, people expect Impossible Germany.
So I'm looking at Spotify's like top place. Mm-hmm. So California Stars is number 2. Impossible Germany is number 4. And you said, what were the other ones? Were the
Hummingbird?
Hummingbird's not even in their top 10. So like as far as Spotify hits going, they're not necessarily even playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Spotify's number 1?
Jesus, etc.
Jesus, etc. With honestly double the plays of California Stars. It's got 125
that's probably
million.
The closest thing they had to like a hit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a really cool thing to be in a crowd like that, where people are like they're there to care about the music. And everybody is just part of the experience of listening. And even if you aren't like a mega fan or you know every single song, that you're just like, I'm just fucking watching I'm not arguing with you on it, but the best band in the game, right?
Yeah. So some standouts that I jotted down. Again, Quiet Amplifier, don't see it much. Bird Without a Tail, Bass on My Skull is the closest thing they have to like a jam band moment. And we got about, I would say, 8 minutes of just kind of back and forth guitar jamming. And it never feels like, oh, okay, I've had enough of this. for me, anyway.
Hagen was done. No, I'm just
too many
guitar. Why are they playing so much guitar?
It's not even the playing of the guitar. It's just that it's just that there's so many of them, and I know they do different things, but God, who cares? That's my. I know other people care, but that's my perspective of like, oh, just play the song.
Yeah. That's. I don't get it. I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here with that.
Like for a second, I thought you were like going to be empathetic for with the line. Like, oh, I get. No, I don't understand.
Keep in mind that I've seen Hagen play Avenged Sevenfold on an Ibanez Hollow Body.
Hell yeah, dude.
All you need is one.
This was the first time I saw Either Way from Sky Blue Sky, and that has one of the most beautiful guitar solos in it, and it's note for note,
Wow.
like the record.
How often is note for note, do you think?
For Nels, there's things that he's like, I got to do this.
Okay.
Hummingbird is the same every time because it's that string arrangement.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
He doesn't call Either Way a guitar solo.
So that's probably
That's
okay.
just that's a part.
So anything that would consider he would consider a solo will be different. But if he
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Yeah, if he gets to step out a little bit.
Yeah.
So like Either Way is 8 bars maybe,
Gotcha.
and it's again the same as it is on the record.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm falling apart in the encore with Pat being like a B-bender champ up
Yeah.
there, and
With that drop tune at the end?
and then the drop
Oh,
tuning
man.
at the end.
That was wild.
And just kept going. I was like, when's it ever gonna fucking stop?
Something I learned actually today on my drive to work was Pat Sansone had never played a B-bender before they recorded that album.
Whoa.
So he's like, man, all this country stuff on Cruel Country needs a B-bender guitar.
That's so funny.
So, Cruel Country, that's the one, the red, white, or
Yeah.
that was interesting because the crowd was so like, red, white, and blue, hell yeah, America. And then they realized, oh, wait, what is he talking about? Oh, these lyrics
I
are
love
not what
my
I thought.
country, stupid and cruel.
Yeah. They heard the I love my country
I
part.
do love my country. Yeah.
And it was like, woo, America. Stupid and cruel. Oh, no. What did that woo? What did that woo?
But a cool thing to note, we got at least one song from every album.
Really?
That's
And
pretty
they
great.
have 13 albums out.
Yeah.
Brad.
That's awesome.
So, and there's, like you said, there's so much that if you went to see, we didn't get I'm Trying to Break Your Heart,
Right.
which is a big
That's
song
a big one. Yeah.
for them. It's got a big feedback section that goes on for a while. Didn't get that. I wasn't disappointed. I've seen it 3 other times, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I was excited for you guys in particular to get to hear things like Handshake Drugs with the kind of the feedbacky ending, and Via Chicago is a big one.
Yeah.
Seeing Nels play an extended Impossible Germany that's different from every other time he's played it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all great stuff. And then they've played I Got You 3 times. I'm blown away by the fact that there's 3-part vocal harmony, top to bottom,
Oh my
on
god.
that song. And it's
yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that was the closer. Okay, yeah, that's right.
That's what they finished out with.
That was incredible. That was absolutely incredible.
So, and then everybody gets solos on it.
Yeah,
So, just a killer band, and like I said, an incredible live show every time, and it's different every time.
real quick to go over we talked about how many guitars right now.
Yeah,
Brings
yeah.
20, and there's a lot of guitar changes. The drummer Glenn Kochi has 2 drum techs
Yeah.
that are changing out his little dumb fucking hi-hat attachments.
Yeah.
So the first time I see a drum tech come out, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, I know that some of these drummers bring like a lot of snares on tour.
Yeah.
So like Steve Jordan's like big on, he has like I don't know, it's like 20 some odd snares on the road. And he there's one that he brings in the hotel with him. He does not let anybody else touch it. It's his. I don't know when he plays it, but it's always in his room with him. It's never anywhere else. But I've seen people do a lot of those changes, but I'm like, what are these guys? They're not bringing out snare drums. What are they doing? They're changing out every little attachment that's attached, like little bells, whistles, etc. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but like, why do you need a drum tech for that? And then I look at Glenn, and he's changing a different one. Yeah. So like the tech is on his left side, moving something around, and he's reaching over on his right side, taking the sizzle off the ride, putting something else on a different cymbal. Like it's so fucking involved that there's 2 drum techs to move all of that, all the little knickknacks.
And I feel like have I seen a video of him using one of those like marching machines for a
yeah.
song? And it didn't even have the crazy shit. Like it was just like the little bells and whistles. It wasn't.
No. Yeah, it was a stripped down Glenn kit. Really,
which is crazy to think about.
That's
He usually brings 5 techs.
that sucks.
It's always been the two. Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking instruments on stage, Michael Jorgensen's got 5 keyboards. Nels has a pedal board on the floor, a pedal board on a table, his 20 guitars.
Yeah.
And then Bobby got the picture of the pedal board.
I did.
A Klon. Like
Yeah,
a
real
real
Klon.
Klon.
$5,000 pedal
Just right there.
sitting there.
What does that do?
That's an overdrive.
Overdrive. It goes just
Yeah, that Impossible Germany guitar solo, that's the sound.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
So
understood.
Jeff's got a dozen guitars that he's going through.
Right.
And then Pat Sansone went through, I think, 6 or 8 guitars.
Plus he has.
Plus, he's got 4 keyboards
Yeah.
behind him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would like to see the inventory list.
Oh, it'd be bonkers.
So like I said, I think Nels brings around 20. Jeff brings a dozen. Pat's got 10. Then John played 4 basses.
3 or 4, yeah.
There are starving children everywhere.
I was gonna say, I want a monetary
Don't you have like 3
value. I
or
want a
4 drum
monetary
sets,
value.
Hagen?
Shut the fuck up. I paid those off. Okay.
I'm sure they paid theirs off too.
Yeah.
I helped pay for some of it, I think.
those concert tickets we just bought.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great night. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Openers were great.
I got another standout. The Toyota Music Pavilion.
Yeah.
Free refills on sodas. That's
you bring
dope.
That's a
Did you
pretty
bring
good
your
stand
Coke?
up.
It's
Dude.
really the
Sorry.
the amount of the amount of pause you have between free refills. There's somebody listening going, "Oh fuck, that's so." Oh
So on sodas. Sorry, I was. I don't know.
no, there's nothing to apologize for. That's a brilliant timing of like somebody here. They do fucking free refills. over there?
I wish I would have brought the cup because I did keep it. Because it was a really generic cup that it was white and just had soda down the side of it. It looked like it was like government issue.
We went to Karen and I went to, I think it was Wallow's, where I was like, do you want a drink? She was like, yeah, I think I'll do like their little like cocktail they have in like the little shaker. We have that still. It's like they give you a drink that's like in a little cocktail shaker. You shake it up yourself, which feels lazy, but it is fun. And now we have it.
I bought a $28 margarita at Dos Equis when I saw Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
I kept that fucking cup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Fucking better, yeah.
$28 cup. I'm keeping it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went to the bar to get some beers and it's like $18, but
It
it's
was
like
20.
you know,
Yeah, it's $20.
yeah, it's I got a Michelob, but it was like twice the size.
was
So
big.
sure, okay. I spent $20 on the 12 pack we're drinking out of right now, but not really the point. But I feel like these bartenders know like that it's frustrating to pay this much, but he's like, he's like, you want a shot, don't you? And I'm like, fuck off. Yes, please. Stop. And he's like, you want a shot with that, don't you? I'm like, I do. I'm not doing it. I'm not spending $40 on a beer and a shot. There's no way you can make me do that.
At least with the sodas.
Free
They
refills.
knew that it was $12. It was going to be free refills.
That's good. Hey, you know what? I'm not mad about the price of the beer, by the way. I just know that's the case. I just know that's like, I'm not mad at them. I just know that that's always going to happen. I'm going to spend that much money at a place like that for a fucking beer.
Yep.
But that's not a negative. This show was amazing. This was like one of like truly one of the best live shows that a person can see. But I will especially say, like, I think it's a weird position because I think when I say this, a different kind of band will come to mind. But this live show is musicians' music.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of times you think of like proggier shit, fusion, like weirder kind of music, and there is weird here, obviously.
Sure.
But like, it's not the immediate thought of Wilco is like, oh yeah, this band is for musicians. Yeah. I think that when you see it live, it no matter where you are as a musician, you're gonna go, holy fuck. What am I watching?
These people are good at what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put the work in.
Now, on the serious conversations of Toyota Music Pavilion, as far as big venues I've been to, I've been to a few. I went to a lot of concerts last year. As far as big music venues, it sounded really good.
Yeah.
We got a good roll there because sometimes it does not.
Really? Okay. All right. Because I mean, went to American Airlines. American Airlines sounded fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
Dos Equis for the Foo Fighters just sounded terrible.
Yeah.
Globe for Green Day sounded terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just big venues, and this isn't that big, but to me, it sounded really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that probably has a lot to do with the just musicality of Wilco in general.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably have the same people, no?
They're not they're not loud.
Yeah,
Like,
that too.
They're
yeah.
not pummeling a sound system.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure the Foo Fighters are brutal
Yeah.
on the sound system.
Absolutely.
And no fault to theirs. They're a loud
Yeah.
rock and roll band. And
Literally, Dave Grohl's thing is like, let's make it more guitars, louder.
Yeah,
like
so I will say for me personally, like Wilco's kind of become a destination band too. Mm-hmm. Like I definitely need to see them in Chicago
yeah.
on their home turf.
Right.
So in the shows that you've seen, where does this rate? Have you seen them 4 times? Like, where does this fall as like?
So the first time's always going to stand out.
Sure.
Like every show's
Lost
been.
my Wilco virginity.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Stand out.
So
special.
they're all so distinctly different that it's
Yeah.
really kind of hard to rank them.
Okay.
Because I went to Santa Fe
Right.
to see them.
That was what was the one that had the really cool backdrop?
Yeah, so that
That
was
was Santa Fe?
Santa Fe.
That was
the back of the stage
dope.
is just the Rocky Mountains.
That's so cool.
They like it was incredible. And then I saw them at Southside Ballroom in Dallas, and I could have grabbed Nels's Klon
You should have.
just right there.
$5,000
Like-
pedal my ass. What the fuck?
Like I saw them front row. They played a song that Jeff said they'll never play again.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
so cool.
Which was pretty cool.
What song is it?
It's called 10 Dead. It is about the Uvalde shooting.
Oh shit!
So-
Yeah, the next song they're gonna play is about.
Yeah, no, he finished it and was just like, I don't think we'll do that again.
Damn.
And it wasn't great what happened, but musically it was a great song.
Yeah.
And
Man.
it was just really heavy. And he's like, this is not a way to keep a crowd pumped up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like everything's been so distinctly different. So, I mean, the first time I saw them from the back row of that venue we were at.
Yeah.
In the Toyota.
Oh, really?
still-
So you've seen that at Toyota twice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So out of the 2, because those I feel like are more comparable, right? It's
Sure.
the same venue.
This was definitely a better set list.
Okay.
This wasn't an album tour.
Have you gone to an album tour?
2 album tours, 2 loose
Tours.
Gotcha.
tours. So I saw them. The first tour was Ode to Joy.
Okay.
So they played a big chunk of that. Ode to Joy is a great album, but it's way more subdued.
Yeah.
That's Quiet Amplifier.
Yeah.
Did they play anything else from Ode to Joy? I don't think so.
So when you saw Ode to
Wishful
Joy,
thinking.
was it
They didn't do it,
not
they didn't
front to
do
back
top
or anything?
bottom.
Okay.
But of the 25 songs they did, 8 of them were from that album.
Okay.
So, and just looking here, I don't think we had anything that was that prevalent.
Like no album that just had that.
Took over.
Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, there's a handful. A Ghost is Born, there's a handful. But,
Yeah.
getting kind of like 2 or 3 from everything.
That's interesting. Because, like, I mean, last year, my entire like concert series was
albums.
It was anniversary albums. So like, when I think of album shows, it's like cool. They're playing all of it, front to back, and to hear that that's not the case. That they played 8 out of 25. That's kind of cool. That they're still playing favorites, even if they do an album tour.
Yeah.
So when I saw them in Santa Fe, it was on the Cruel Country tour.
Okay.
So that song has like 30 songs on it.
Damn.
It's like a double
Yeah.
LP. They played a bunch of that. They had a special guest on that one that was a guy named Terry Allen.
Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins, yeah.
Yeah.
It got real funky for a minute. No, Terry Allen's a famous singer-songwriter
Okay.
from the Santa Fe area.
So that special guest, did he have anything to do with the album, or was
Nope.
he was just hanging?
he was just around, so they said, hey, come and play a couple of songs.
That's cool.
So And then again, yeah, like that's Santa Fe is a cool city.
Yeah.
And then, the
People
the
keep telling
venues-
me that.
The venue's beautiful at the Santa Fe Opera House.
Murder crash business.
So like everything's really distinctly different. So it's hard to be like, this was the best.
Gotcha.
So
That I because I was thinking that like as soon as you asked him, I was like I was wondering which one would be like number one, number two, and then my immediate thought was like, well, I could do that for Foo Fighters because I have like a connection to like going to California to see them at Cal Jam. Like that was really cool. Or like the first time I saw them, the virginity of it all, like driving to Tulsa to see them because they don't really fucking play Dallas. But like, and I have that for Between the Buried and Me too. But like, it's connections to the specific album or the experience of the travel of it. Or, I saw Between the Buried and Me play The Door in Dallas, which is a venue that doesn't exist anymore. And I've played that. I had played that stage at the time, like 4 or 5 times, and I was like 17, 18, and I'm like, they're on that fucking stage that I just played, and there's no guardrail. I'm right next to them. So it's like, it's hard to say like, why a show would be. I think that if you can't decide, I think that also is a good indicator of a great band.
Yeah. So I mean, Southside Ballroom I was so close.
Yeah.
Like it was right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So coming from like a little town and being fairly like concerts weren't a thing. Concerts were 1 in a million. Like they didn't show up as much. Like my concert going didn't happen until this last like 5 or 6 years. Like really. So like I guess I've seen the Flecktones 3 times. I can't say which one of those was the coolest because like one, I flew out to LA, but it was also a Christmas concert. So it was cool to go out to LA, and it was on my birthday. Yeah. But it was all their Christmas tunes, so it wasn't the hits. So it was like the music wasn't as cool, even though the setting was dope. Like Delta Sleep, I've seen them 3 times, but I've only seen them with a full lineup once because they've had subs for the other 2, and that's just part of touring America when you're a European band. It's like maybe not everybody can take that time out of their lives for that much. Yeah. It's like seeing a band as much as you have like this. It's kind of interesting to see like what the favorites are and what the consistencies and inconsistencies are.
Yeah, like I said, there's stuff that I hadn't seen before.
It's great.
Cool. That's super cool.
There's stuff that I've seen every time.
Yeah.
But it's different.
Would you be upset if Impossible Germany wasn't on the next set?
No.
You wouldn't?
Like I said, because they're going to replace it with something that you're just like, oh, they didn't play Impossible Germany, but they had Feist come out and do You and I. Or
there's options. It's not just down to that kind of situation, right? I think I think that would be a situation where you might come across people who are like, oh, they didn't play Impossible Germany. I'm pissed about that.
Yeah.
But I think that would be like that's the only song that I have heard every single person who doesn't listen to Wilco say, I love that song. Yeah. Like that's the only fucking one. And then California Stars, I guess, but like that one's, I don't know. That one's weird to me.
If I never saw it again, though, I wouldn't be terribly upset.
Yeah.
California Stars?
Yeah, it's not from a particular Wilco album that I enjoy.
It's not. It's
Wilco
not even,
and Billy Bragg.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing lyrics from.
It didn't make our deep dive because it wasn't like a Wilco album.
Kind of a.
Oh, it's not off a Wilco album.
Well, they're
it's
on
called
it.
Mermaid Avenue.
I asked because I need some details about the song. I guess
Woody Guthrie's daughter found a box of unfinished lyrics. She was friends with Billy Bragg. They're like, let's finish these Woody Guthrie songs. And Billy Bragg's like, I don't want to do this by myself. I want a real band to do it. And Jay Bennett, who was in Wilco in the late 90s, was a big Billy Bragg fan and volunteered Wilco. And Jeff's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
He was relatively dismissive. And this was the hit from those sessions.
Yeah. And so
was Wilco the only band on all that session?
It's Wilco and Billy Bragg.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever I was I've played this song a bunch of times, right? Like I said, and every time I get like a text from a band leader that's like, we're gonna play California Stars - Wilco. And the first time I was like, is it this one with Billy Bragg or is there another one? Because I want to make sure that I'm learning the right tune, right? And I'm like, oh, this is the only one. And then we got to the Wilco deep dive. I'm like, it didn't even make the fucking cut. Like, it's not that it's like
That was a 3-hour podcast. To make the cut.
It's important to note that I did an almost 3-hour podcast about one Counting Crows album too.
Yeah, with the Wilco one, we covered everything.
Yeah,
but
everything up to that point.
yeah, but you had given each of us a specific playlist
I
of
had kind of
material.
built out some things for some specific.
Oh, I watched that shit. I was there.
So-
From my couch at home, I was there.
But, yeah,
I watched that shit in one setting. I want you to know that.
me too. I lived it.
I was there.
Hey, I've also rewatched that episode to get clips out of it. Okay, so
Just me rattling off names.
that's my favorite clip from that. It's just
white
the names.
white guy names.
Yeah.
Well, it's normal name, normal first name, wacky last name.
Yeah. Michael Jorgensen.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fairly Odd Parents, that's like
And that's not getting into guys from earlier, like
right.
Leroy Bach
Yeah. Bach.
or like Ken Coomer.
Well, that's just unfortunate. That's
That's a very unfortunate name.
Yeah. Nowadays, I think the kids would call him Ken Gooner. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
yeah.
So,
Man.
but I mean, it was a great show. I'm glad you guys went
Yeah.
with me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for bringing. This is amazing. Is there anything else that you want to touch on?
I think that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys are down, Counting Crows are playing in August.
Oh shit.
I'm there, dude.
What's the date?
It's August 3rd. It's in Durant, Oklahoma.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. Okay, yeah.
That's not like a WinStar gig or anything. It's like an actual.
It is a casino gig.
It is a casino gig.
yeah.
Okay.
It's at
What is
Choctaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Counting Crows and Gaslight Anthem.
And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing where you're never going to hear the same song the same way with Counting Crows.
Oh yeah,
never.
yeah. Down to the vocals.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so Counting Crows. I mean, I don't know if we're ending this up or not, but Counting Crows. There's like recordings of like every gig, right?
Yeah. They have live.
You can
live board
find
tapes.
it the next day for the board tapes.
Nugs.net.
Right.
So
yeah.
does Wilco do that?
They don't. They record everything. They don't release everything.
Okay.
So they put out what's called road cases. So they'll do 5 shows a year.
That
Are just like, here's kind of some standouts.
okay. Because
So
I'll be real with you, sitting at work and listening to last night's Counting Crows gig is annoying as shit. Like, but number one, you can't sing along with any song.
And
Yeah.
all you fucking envision is just white guy dreads. And you're like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up,
They're
dreads,
fucking
man.
gone.
they're gone.
I know they're gone.
They're gone.
I know
It's
they're
weird.
gone. I know they're gone, but that's all I can still envision in my head. And I'm
That-
like, you shouldn't have ever had these in the first place.
That man fucked Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox with those dreads.
That's the perfect note to end on.
There you go. Those dreads got some 90s trim.
Friends
some
action.
friend trim.
Okay, I'll take us out.
Yeah,
Okay.
get us out.
Yeah, we're done. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it so much. If you're not already, please follow, subscribe, whatever podcast tab you're using to listen to this. If you're on any sort of video thing and you're watching this, why aren't you following and subscribing? Do it. It's free. If you're on social media, DFTA Podcast on Instagram, Don't Feed the Artist on TikTok. Go follow those accounts because that's also fucking free. Go join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Don't Feed the Artist. That's not free. All right.
Smash that like button. Ring
yeah,
that
fucking
bell.
Hammer it. Like
Whatever-
the Counting
whatever
Crows
they
lead
say.
singer to never mind.